This is a video on troubleshooting shower issues in AK Arena. So AK Arena and TC Arena are fed from completely separate hot water tanks and systems. They're in no way connected to each other. Part of doing your building checks is you're checking the outlet temperature right here, and you're also checking that the light's on here. And if you really want to, just as I showed you in the other video for TC, you can remove this cover and you can look and you can see what the set point is on the tank and what temperature the water should be coming out at, and that is in Fahrenheit, and that is the correct temperature for domestic hot water. If you were to run the hot water, you'd also be able to see that firing if you crawled down and looked at it when it's running. And then there is the recirc line. So the purpose of the recirc line is, again, to keep the water that's in the pipes hot. Even though the pipes are insulated, the hot water will still cool off over time if nobody's running the water, and then that would give you cooler water when you start to have a shower. So the recirc line keeps it warm in the pipes, and when you're reading that, right now we're looking at about 44 degrees Celsius. That's plenty hot. And you can also see in Fahrenheit it is 110. You know, we looked at the tank temperature. The tank temperature is 130 Fahrenheit, but that is the temperature at the tank. This is the temperature that is on the return part of the recirc line. So this is the temperature that the water is coming back on the recirc line before it feeds back and mixes with the cold water going into the tank. Now, this is the recirc pump. This pump has caused us some issues in the past, and one of the reasons for that is it's a newer style of pump, and it's really more meant for residential use because of the size of line that it's on, and it's got these 3 modes, and unfortunately the default mode on it is this auto adapt. So if it's at 100%, which is what we want it set to because we want it running all the time, and it loses power at the circuit because, say, you know, somebody blows a breaker, building power goes out, there's a bump or something, it's going to go back to auto adapt. And this auto adapt mode it's supposed to be like an intelligent adaptive mode for residential, where you shower at the same time every morning and you don't need hot water in the lines the rest of the day, and it's supposed to adapt. That's similar to this setting. It's also supposed to be like an adaptive type temp. It's supposed to basically keep this at a set temperature and run the pump as needed to maintain that temperature. We found that neither of those settings work well for us, so we always want to make sure it's on 100, and that's part of why when we do our building checks, we are checking the temperature here twice a day, and if the temperature is good, then the setting on here is probably good as well, and you should just have a look at that, make sure it's at 100, and in the event that there is a power bump and this gets turned to auto, you just turn this back to 100 and you should be able to come back here and check, and it should be back up to temperature. So that's this part of the system, making sure that the recirc line is staying hot and that you've got hot water at the tank and that everything with the tank is good. I'll do another video on the actual showers and their mixing valves.